Hello, friends. It's Pastor Laura. Since we can't meet in person right now, I thought I'd send this set of activities together so that we can keep learning together and exploring our faith in this format until the next time we can get together and see each other face to face, hopefully at church. And today we're going to start our learning and our thinking by hearing this book I really love. It's called What is God Like? By Rachel Halde and Matthew Paul Turner. And it really invites us to use our imaginations and use our observations of the world to help us learn and know more about God. So I'll start by reading us this book. And there's really beautiful pictures. I hope you're sitting close enough to whatever screen or tablet that you can see some of the pictures as we go. I'll be turning the pages of the slides so that you can see them matching up with what I'm reading. What is God like? That is a very big question. One that people from places all around the world have wondered about since the beginning of time. And while nobody has seen all of God, because God is far too big for any of us to fully see, we can know what God is like. God is like an eagle, sharp-eyed and swift, with wings so wide you can play under their shadows. God is like a river, constant and life-giving. When you grow near God, you'll sprout up strong as a tree. God is like the stars, forever present and bright. Even when they feel far away, you can always look up and see them winking at you. God is like a shepherd, brave and good, a protector who loves her sheep so much that she watches over all of them and knows each of their names by heart. God is like a fort, strong and secure, with walls that are mighty and safe. Inside, there are hidden places to hold you when you're scared or need a quiet place to rest. God is like a gardener, patient and nurturing. God plants, waters, weeds, and fertilizes the earth until every good thing on it seeks the nourishing sun and grows. God is like the flame of a candle, warm and inviting. With God close by, you can look to the light and see through the darkest of nights. God is like the wind, passionate and full of mystery. God is both here and mysteriously also over there. God is everywhere, swirling throughout the world, whistling across mountain ranges, wrestling through trees, and pressing against your cheeks on a breezy day. God is like an artist, creative and unpredictable, always busy making and remaking everything brilliant and new. God is like a mother, strong and safe. You can crawl up in her lap whenever you want to, and she will hold you until you fall asleep. God is like a father, gentle and safe. He will put you on top of his shoulders to give you a bird's eye view of all creation. God is like three dancers, graceful and precise. They move to the same music in very different ways, showcasing all of God's elegance and rhythm in your life. God is like a rainbow, vivid and full of color, a dazzling reminder of promise and hope for all people after a storm. God is like a best friend, faithful and true, closer to you than even your brothers or sisters. And because we know what God is like, we know that God is kind, God is forgiving, God is slow to get angry, God is quick to be glad, God is happy when you tell the truth and sad when things are unfair. She is your protector. He is trustworthy. They are friends when you feel alone. God hopes. God perseveres. What is God like? That is a very big question, one that people from places all around the world throughout all time have answered in many different ways. Keep searching, keep wondering, keep learning about God. But whenever you aren't sure what God is like, think about what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel brave, and what makes you feel loved. That's what God is like. Wow, those are some great ways to think about God. I wonder which pictures or ideas really got your attention thinking about God. I know I liked the idea of God as the wind, always moving about, and a force that we can feel on our bodies on a windy day. It is strong and fierce. I also like the idea of God being creative, like an artist, and making things new and beautiful again and again. So we're going to play a little game. It's kind of like a scavenger hunt. I'm going to say again one of the words that the book encouraged us to think about God being like. It might be a word like happy. And then I want you to go look for something that reminds you of happy or something that makes you happy around your home or in whichever space you're in right now. You're going to put me on pause. And then when you come back, unpause me and I'll share my object and maybe you can share your object that you found too. So let's see first what our first challenge word is. Safe. Go find something that makes you feel safe. Put me on pause and unpause me when you come back. Oops, I skipped ahead. I'll go ahead and share. This is my object. I found my bike helmet. It certainly makes me feel safe and protected every time I'm out on my bike. I wonder what object you found that makes you feel safe. You can go ahead and share. All right, let's see what our next word is. Brave. Go and find an object that makes you feel brave or helps you feel brave. Put me on pause and unpause me when you come back. I'll go ahead and share. I found my snowshoe. Anytime I get to go out and have an adventure in the snow, I feel a little bit brave. And I think that's a good reminder. I wonder what object you found that makes you think of bravery. You can go ahead and share. And now let's try one more challenge word. Let's see what we have. Love. Go find an object that makes you feel loved. Put me on pause and unpause me when you come back. This is my kitty Eli. He reminds me of love when we snuggle or give each other hugs. If he purrs, oh, it's being squirmy at the moment, but he reminds me of love and being loved. I wonder what object you found. And if you're having a lot of fun with this scavenger hunt, I have some extra words. Oops, excuse me, Eli. Some extra words that you might want to keep playing with are strong, creative, gentle, kind, happy, friendly, protected, warm, beautiful, and good. If you want to keep playing, just go ahead and press pause and keep the scavenger hunt fun going. Pick a word and go look for that item and share when you get back. Otherwise, we'll go ahead. Now we're going to do a little creating of our own. So, as I kept thinking about what is God like and the ways that creation and nature can remind us of God, I got to thinking about fish and how fish have been on the earth for a very, very, very long time. In fact, since before the time of the dinosaurs, there were different kinds of fish on earth. Fish really live everywhere. They live in lakes and streams and creeks, ponds, big lakes, little lakes, even all over the oceans, the warm ones, the cold ones, and all the spaces in between. There are so many fish. Over 30,000 kind of fish, if you can imagine that many kinds. So they're everywhere and they've been around for a long time. And that's another thing that reminds me that God is present everywhere. And God has been here for longer than I can even imagine. So I thought one easy creative project we could try is to make a little origami fish. Now, if you're not familiar with origami is just a practice of paper folding that takes square paper and creates all kinds of cool shapes and objects out of paper. Of course, historically, it came out of the Japanese culture, but there are many other cultures that have also had different practices of paper folding. So I just thought it might be something new that we could all try together. So in the packet I sent you in the mail, that is what the square colored paper is for. If you go ahead and find a square piece of paper, pick a color you like. Now I've drawn some lines on my paper and on the images you see on the slides just to help me explain to you how to do this. But that's not required. You don't have to draw the lines on your page unless you really want to. So the first step is we're gonna fold on the lines that will make a shape kind of like the T that you see on that first picture. And each time we make a fold, we're actually gonna unfold it because we're kind of just doing the pre-folding here. Now we're going to shape the X folds, the second image you see. Or another way to say that is we're kind of folding across the diagonals of the page. Again, each time we're unfolding. Okay, so 2 first steps done. Good job, guys. So you're going to have a crease that makes the T shape and a crease that makes the X shape. Sorry, I'm having some trouble with my camera view here. All right, so we got the T and the X crease. Good first steps. Now we need to make the body of the fish. So I'm going to fold in half across one of those folds I already made. And what it needs to happen is we need to take both of these corners and fold them into the fish body. So I'm gonna take this corner and fold it in and push that crease in. And then as I flatten it out, I'm going to have a triangle on this side with two flaps. There we go. We're halfway done with this hard step. Nice job. And the same thing needs to happen on this other side. So we're going to push in that corner all the way to the middle Sorry, I've practiced so many times, my paper has extra crinkles. And again, I'm getting the triangle shape on this side. And I flatten it out. So now I have the fish body. There we go. So we've made it to that left first image. We've got the fish body with 2 flaps on top and 2 flaps on the bottom. Now all that we got to do, all that's left is making the fins. So we're going to take 1 flap and kind of folding it over. You're going to start to see this fin shape sticking out the back. That's good. You want a nice amount of fin, so kind of just eyeball it, and when you like it, fold it down flat. Great, we got 1 fin. That's a good start. And then we just need to fold the other fin up over it. Flip it over, and we've got a fish. And of course, yours won't have the lines on it probably like mine. And you can go ahead, if you've got a marker or crayons, you can add a face or a smile or whatever you might like to add to your fish. And I gave you a number of pages, so I hope you make a whole school, a whole little team of fish. I'm going to make a school of fish, and I think I'm going to put them up in one of our kids' connection or kids' corner learning areas, just so that they can be there to welcome you whenever we do get to be back together again. If you want to bring along one of your fishes next time, it would be fun to put some more up in our learning space and keep growing our school of fish there as decorations and reminders of God's presence all over the world with us. If you need to see those folding instructions again, you can just back up a few slides and replay it and try it again. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. If it looks like a fish, you did it right, friends. Before we say goodbye, I'll also point out, I did put in some fun coloring sheets. They say God is like, and then it just invites you to color away. I kind of found some fish shapes in the patterns, and that's what I started coloring in. But let your creativity guide you. The more color and the more fun shapes, the better and the more fun you might have. I'd love to see your artwork. If you want to share it sometime, that'd be fun to see. Well, before we go, why don't we say a prayer together? I'll go ahead and leave some pause between my words like we do in church, in case you want to pray along with me. Let us pray. Dear God, thank you for being so big that we need to use our imaginations to understand. Please show us today and in all of our days how big your love is for us. And we all pray together, amen. Well, friends, it's been good to have this time with you. I hope this was a meaningful time of reflection and imagination. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. God bless.